Devon, could you kind of explain what the process is like for you going from football shape, getting into track shape, molding your body for that sport, and then getting back into the flow for this spring?
The transition for me is basically just trying not to lose as much weight as I do going into track. Because, obviously a lot of running and sweating, I'm going to lose weight. So, just trying to stand in the weight room, just keeping my body maintaining, to take a lot of hits. So, just basically keeping my weight up and just, make sure when I come back to football that I'm still in shape and still can be able to run and catch the football like I've been able to do, because I know I haven't been doing it in a long time. So I just try to stay and maintain focus on that.
We'll go back behind the lights.
Hey, Devon, can you just talk a little bit about kind of the emphasis you're kind of trying to focus on this year? You can do so many different things. Is there one area or a couple areas that you want to do better this year?
Yes. Just trying to do better. Just playing going out as a receiver. Just focusing on running my routes better. I've been after practice catching a lot of jugs, just basically working on my hands and just try to do what's best for the team.
We'll go second row on the right. Olin.
Devon, we hear that Evan and maybe Chris Marshall, maybe some other guys are finally that guy that's going to be able to, I guess, stretch the defense and take the top off of it. If they are able to do that, what does that do for you?
It just makes our team just a whole lot better, that we can score in every position. So it just makes it easier for me that everybody do their job. It just basically just making me do my job just even better, just because I know if Evan is out there or Chris or whoever, a receiver, is just doing their job and then I'm doing my job, it's hard to stop us at every position. So, we just basically seeing them just be out at practice and doing the things that they be doing, it just impresses me. So.
All right, we'll go third row on the left.
Devon, I was just looking at your carry numbers. You had 20 against South Carolina in the big game there, 16 against Missouri. Outside of that in your career, it's mainly been 10 or 12, and obviously you had other guys kind of soaking up some carries. But how confident are you that you can be that every down back who maybe carries the ball 18, 20-plus times a game?
I'm very confident. If Coach Fisher wants me to carry the ball 20, 25 times, that's what I do. If he wanted me to carry the ball 10 times, I do. I just here just on the team, just being a team player. So if that's what Coach wants, then that's what I do.
All right, we'll go front row on the right.
Devon, when you look back at your time at Fort Bend Marshall to now, when you were trying to carve out a role for yourself, to being a secondary runner, to now being one of the lead backs, and not just that, but one of the top names in the SEC, is there a sense of pride that you have just internally in yourself, and there's a certain level of expectation that you want to bring this year?
Yes, because when I started high school, I was a second-string running back, and then till my junior year, I became a starter. We just same here. I was a sixth-string running back freshman and sophomore year, and now I'm a starter my junior year. So it just basically just taking on that role, and just being a leader for the team. So it just helped me a lot. That I also am familiar with the position and phrase that I've been in. So it's basically the same from high school.
We'll go third row on the left, Tyler.
Devon, do you still see yourself on special teams with kick returns, and just, I guess, as a unit, how much of an advantage is that you guys have when you have guys like yourself and Anais with returning the ball?
You have a very advantage. Me and Anais both ran punt returns and kick returns back last year. So, yes, I also see myself on special teams, even on kickoff. I was on punt return. I played every special team since I've been here, so I don't see a change in that.
We'll go sixth row on the right, and then we'll go to Brent.
Devon, it seemed like with your obviously elite speed and being able to stay fresh, as we mentioned with some other guys, it sort of could be a lethal combination late in games with kind of a full tank, so to speak, and plenty of speed to burn. As you get into games, more carries, is there anything you can do to make sure you maintain that level of separation just throughout the game and kind of maintain that advantage?
It's just starting now at fall camp. We it's hot. It's everybody the sun is out. Just starting at fall camp, just getting all the carries. Just basically just training yourself to go through a long game and 4 quarters, and that's a lot. That's a long time. So just basically going at practice, training myself to be ready for anything, and just make sure I'm ready.
All right, we'll go to Brent right here on the front row.
You're going to
you're going to get mentioned as a preseason Heisman Trophy candidate. How do you approach that in terms of that mentality, that approach into the season, when you hear that in terms of your approach here and being related to the Heisman?
I think it's a great accomplishment, but I really don't just think about stuff like that. I just come here to play football, and then like the accolades come. I'm very thankful for them. But to me, I just focus on like the team, stuff like that. I don't be just worried about that unless it just be mentioned.
So speaking of being mentioned, how much did you hear about the kick return in the offseason against Alabama from fans and others and so forth?
Yeah, I heard that like it was a lot of people like fans mentioning me like on Twitter, stuff like that. They like had like pictures of me that I was signing. So it was actually like just fun. But once upon a time, like me, I just start forgetting about it. Like it was last year, so I got to do something new this year. So
Stay on the front row, and then we'll wrap up with Justin.
Devon, just overall, what have you seen from the quarterbacks, and how did they elevate their play, and also how they elevate the offense with you guys in the huddle?
I seen a lot of every last one of them, all three of them. They're great at what they do. They make sure that we all on top of our game. They being leaders, they're very vocal. So they just keep all like the offensive line, the defense. I mean, like the offensive receiver. They make sure that we all on top of our game. We can't slack. So they all been great leaders, and you can see right from fall to spring that we just basically they just getting better at what they do, and it's very like impressing me because I haven't been there. I wasn't there in spring, so this is kind of new to me. So fall camp has been like very fun, even though it's been 5 days. So it's really like great to see them like compete with each other.
All right, we'll wrap it up behind the lights on the right with Justin.
Devon, at some point you're going to have to take a break, right? So behind you, Amari and LJ, what are you seeing from that, the backup role, and obviously can't forget about Le'Veon. So just talk about those three backs behind you.
From last year to this year, they've involved a lot. Like you can tell, like by me just practicing with them, that they've been working in the off season. Just trying to get better and perfect their craft. So everybody just think like it's just me, but I actually have like our running back room is really like really good. And, y'all will see that like during the season. So, just me seeing them how great they got from the past year. They really been putting in a lot of work, and they will see like in the season.
All right, thanks, Devon.
All right, thank y'all.